Harold Mason had always imagined retirement would be quiet, predictable, and peaceful, a time to trade courtrooms, lawsuits, and high-stakes negotiations for mornings of coffee on the porch, afternoons tending to a small garden, and evenings of reading in the sun. Yet the moment he rolled into Oakwood Pines, he realized that even the most pristine suburban streets could hide chaos beneath manicured lawns and cherry-red mailboxes. Because here, perfection wasn't just aesthetic. It was enforced, meticulously, obsessively, by Marla Jennings, the HOA president with a grudge sharper than any courtroom cross-examination he had ever delivered. Harold, 67 and now wheelchair-bound after an accident, had moved here seeking tranquility, but years earlier he had questioned a landscaping contract that funneled neighborhood funds into Marla's friends' pockets, and from that moment, every trivial detail of his life became fodder for harassment, fines, and petty tyranny, from the exact color of his mailbox and the precise height of his hydrangeas to the timing of his trash cans and even the faint hum of his wheelchair charger. A constant reminder that in Oakwood Pines power was wielded through minutia, and Marla wielded it like a weapon. For years, Harold endured these small aggressions with patience, filing letters, paying fines begrudgingly, and documenting every interaction. But nothing could prepare him for the morning he rolled into his garage to find his wheelchairs. Wires sliced clean through, precise cuts that left no doubt. This was sabotage, and not an accident. The repair technician confirmed it, intentional, deliberate, a warning, and Harold's mind, honed over decades prosecuting criminals, immediately began mapping scenarios, planning a strategy that relied not on confrontation, but on meticulous observation, patience, and proof. He installed hidden cameras in his garage, leaving the wheelchair as bait, understanding that whoever returned would be captured in the act, and he watched day after day, noting the comings and goings of neighbors, Marla's own patrols, and any suspicious shadows, knowing that timing, patience, and strategy would be his greatest allies. The first night, a figure appeared, cutters in hand, but the footage revealed only a teenage neighbor searching for a lost cat, a false alarm that reminded Harold that even the most carefully laid plans required resilience and adjustments, so he recalibrated his cameras, adding high and low angles, adjusting the lighting, marking paths, and leaving the wheelchair again, each detail deliberate, calculated, and patient, because he knew that Marla's overconfidence would be her undoing. Over the following days, Harold's life became a delicate balance of normalcy and vigilance, tending to his plants, greeting neighbors, going about mundane routines, while also observing Marla's schedules, plotting when she might take the bait, reviewing his records of fines and petty harassment, and imagining the moment justice would finally manifest, knowing that if he rushed or miscalculated, the opportunity would be lost. And then, one quiet evening, the garage door eased open, a subtle sound caught by his cameras, and there she was. Marla Jennings herself, badge pinned to her sweater, wire cutters in hand, eyes gleaming with self-satisfaction as she bent down to sever the wires, unaware that every move, every precise cut, was being recorded from multiple angles, evidence meticulously gathered over days of careful observation, patience, and strategy. Harold rolled into the police station with calm precision, handing over repair bills, camera footage, and logs of every fine and incident, his demeanor that of a man who had seen far worse in courtrooms and criminal investigations, and within days, Marla was arrested, charged with felony destruction of an assistive device, and permanently banned from the HOA after pleading guilty, leaving Oakwood Pines shaken, its streets quieter, the manicured lawns still perfect but forever marked by a story that reminded everyone that tyranny, even in its smallest, most bureaucratic forms, could be challenged. Back home, Harold tended to his garden, watering plants, adjusting the sunshade on his porch, and with a wry smile told a reporter, "I've faced mobsters, but the most dangerous crook I ever met wore a name tag and carried a clipboard." A statement that captured both irony and triumph. A reminder that courage, intelligence, and meticulous planning often overcome petty oppression. His story quickly circulated through neighbors, spreading awareness of how even the most seemingly minor abuses of power can escalate into criminal actions, and yet also inspiring those who had suffered under overbearing HOA rules to stand firm, document thoroughly, and trust that patience and strategy could turn the tables. Harold reflected on the strange duality of suburban life, a place of order and beauty, yet one where obsession, control, and power could hide behind civility and rules. And he realized that the lessons he had imparted to others through years of courtroom experience were now being lived in miniature here in Oakwood Pines, where one man's quiet resistance had not only reclaimed his dignity but also delivered justice, proving that even in the smallest, most ordinary of communities, courage, patience, and careful observation can expose wrongdoing and restore balance. And so, Harold's tale comes full circle, not only as a warning to those who abuse authority, but also as a celebration of the quiet heroes who protect their independence, dignity, and peace. A testament that strategic action, courage, and resilience can triumph over bureaucracy and petty tyranny. If you've ever faced an overbearing HOA, an unfair neighbor, or any situation where rules were weaponized against you, share your story in the comments below, because your voice matters, your experience is valid, and Harold's journey shows that standing your ground, documenting your case, and remaining patient can lead to victories in the most unexpected ways, proving that justice doesn't always wear a badge or sit in a courtroom. It can come quietly, cleverly, and decisively, even from the humblest of porches and the most carefully observed suburban streets.